Hey, what's up guys? It's Pedro here from noobcoder.com, and in this tutorial we're just going to be going over arithmetic operators. Now, all a arithmetic operator are your basic math operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, etc. So let's start off by creating some variables. So I'm going to create var num1, and I'm going to assign it the value of 5. I'm going to create var num2, assign it the value of 4, and we're going to create a variable to store the result of our expressions. So now we're going to write an expression. We're going to say result is going to be assigned the value of num1 plus num2. And now we're going to print that onto the console. I'm going to hit Control B. Right click, reveal in Explorer, index.html, F12, and you can see 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. But let's go back to our editor, and I want this to be more detailed, right? So if I go to console, all you see is 9, but that doesn't really tell me much. So I want my printout to be more informative. So I'm going to say num1 plus, and we're going to say plus, we're going to give the string. Now this is going to print out a string. Whenever you add a number to a string, you're going to get a string. So I'm going to say plus, give it some space. This is called string concatenation, what I'm doing. So this is going to print out 5 plus second number, num2. So I'm going to say num2 plus equal sign, and we're going to give some space, plus result. Control S to save, Control B. Let's head over back to our browser, hit refresh, and see what we get. So now we see that this expression, 5 plus 4, is indeed equal to 9. So that's a little bit more informative than just printing 9 out onto the console. So now let's take a look at the other operators. So we got done with addition. Let's do subtraction. Head over to our browser. And to save time, and because I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy this. Control C, Control V, and we're just going to change this plus to a minus. And instead of saying num1 plus num2, change this to a minus also. Control S to save. Head over to our browser, hit refresh, and you can see 5 minus 4 evaluates to 1. So now that we're getting the hang of it, let's speed this up and get to the other operators. So I am just going to copy this, paste it twice, and we're going to have division. We are going to have multiplication. And we're going to change what the output looks like. So we're going to change this to division, as well as this to multiplication. So hit Control S to save. Head over back to our browser. Hit refresh. And you can see that we get 5 divided by 4 evaluates to 1.25. And 5 times 4 evaluates to 20. So now there are actually 2 more operators I want to go over. So let's head over back to our editor. And let's make some more space. And now I want to talk about the remainder operator. And the remainder operator is just this percent sign. And let's change that to display the remainder operator. And now there's also one more called the exponential operator. So this is dealing with exponents. So the way that you should read this expression is, num1 is 5, num2 is 4. So you should read this num1, so 5 to the power of 4. And the same thing with this, 5, remainder operator, 4. So let's save that and head over to our browser. Hit refresh, and you can see 5 remainder 4 evaluates to 1. So basically 4 goes into 5 one time, and then 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So that gives us our remainder. And you can see here that 5 to the power of 4 evaluates to 625. So now that we got all that out of the way, I just want to talk about order precedence. So let's head over back to our editor. And remember in math class where they told you multiplication and division have a higher order precedence than subtraction or addition? So I'm just going to say console.log, and let's do 2 equations. So one, I'm going to say 1 plus 1 times 5, right? The next statement, I want to say 1 plus 1 times 5, but this time I want to put parentheses around here. And let's see what we end up getting. Control S to save, head over to my browser, hit the refresh button. You can see that we get 2 different answers. So let's go over it again in our editor. So what's happening here? Well, order of precedence, right? Order of operations. So multiplication has a higher precedence than addition. So 5 times 1 is 5, and then 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's why we get 6 here. And now if we go back to our other example, parentheses has a higher precedence than multiplication. So now we have 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 times 5 is 10.